I am Anna Olsen here on A1R Radio with my segment every Tuesday, 1:30 Pacific Standard Time. And today I am going to go over something that's a little bit unexpected and not so typical for me. I really do try to stay on spiritual topics, but today I wanted to make sure that I would go over something that's really important to me. So let me just. So I am wanting to talk about essential oils today, and I don't want to sound like I am in a pyramid scheme business or anything like that, because I do not sell any of these products at all. I am only somebody who buys and uses them. And the reason why is because I've been put in a situation where I've been really desperate for some sort of treatment, not only for me, but for my family. And essential oils were the only thing that actually worked. They worked ahead of, well, there really could have been some supplements that could have worked a little better had I known about them at the time. But I used some things for anxiety in my family that worked very well. It's actually a mix that's considered a natural, I guess it would be like an Ativan or a Klonopin or something like that. It would be like a natural sedative. And you can just put a few drops of these oils in your hands, rub it around like lotion and smell it. Cup your hands around like a mask, like around your nose and your mouth, and inhale anytime you're feeling anxiety, and it will actually take away and rewire. It'll take away panic attacks and things like that. Rewire the brain so that you're training the brain not to respond that way to stress, because it's kind of like an overload state, and it also immediately brings relief. So that's one way that we've used them as a family, and that I've used it with my family. I've also used it for symptoms of inattention or ADD, ADHD in a classroom. We use vanilla, lemon. There are some other ones too, but those are the main ones we used at the time. Very, very effective. Very, very effective. One of my family members got stung by a scorpion and had stepped on it and gotten stung. We treated that with some frankincense oil right away. You put that on any sting and it takes away the pain entirely and completely, immediately. So for some reason, somebody out there today needs to hear this, because that's what Spirit told me to talk about today on my show. I have this one-on-one with Spirit, and we converse every day before my show. And I ask Spirit, what would you like me to do today? Where would you like me to go on my show? Because I'm going to reach a certain amount of people. And within that audience, I need to know what to say. So today it's on essential oils. That's usually not my specific interest on what I would like to talk about, but it works for me because I am passionate about it. And there are a lot of other ways that you can use essential oils for everyday medicine, especially therapeutic, aromatherapeutic purposes. We have a lot of stress in our environment. And it's just really nice to know that you have a much cheaper, cost-effective, natural, no side effects sort of treatment. However, you have to know oil and lavender is actually very, very well, it's studied right now, and it's been known to cause some endocrine system issues in young boys. So as far as we know right now, do not use lavender and tea tree on boys. It does something with the hormonal system and the endocrine system. So we know things like that. You have to kind of like know what you're doing, maybe work with a practitioner. These can also open up your third eye. There's some purple flowers, lavender in color. That there are a lot of different ones that you can use. You can use the oils right on your third eye to open that up and to kind of start to feel like you're getting a better message intuitively, which is another use that, we know that we can use as intuitives with oils and even other supplements. There are foods that you can use to treat anxiety. Beets are natural antidepressant because not only do they have tryptophan, but they also have a bunch of vitamin B, which is an energy enhancer. So you can get a lot of energy from the vitamin Bs, but you'd also be getting this nice, mellow, almost sleepy, calm effect from that tryptophan, which is the same stuff that they have, that you have in turkey that makes everybody sleepy after they eat turkey. So you can use medicine. There's oils. There is food. Food is absolutely medicine. Can treat anything, any health issue. And if you have something that's irreversible, it at least manages it. So, we know all of these things. And I just wanted to reiterate this today that not, Western medicine and the normal insurance laden medical doctor has their purpose. It's when you haven't managed things for a long time and you have an emergency. That's what they're amazing for. We know that we'd want to be within the reach of a surgeon or a physician anytime that we are in trouble. And I love that about doctors. And we don't ever want to discount the value of one person over the other. And I would also urge people not to wait for insurance to pay for things. Find out a way to treat it. These things can be very cost effective. A lot of people even just do things like homeopathy at cost for the remedies, and that it can not only be cost effective, but in the long term, you're saving so much time and energy and money just from preventative measures. These are prophylactic in so many ways. So that is really, really like the gist of it. There are so many natural medicine people out there who understand this, who've been practicing it for years, and many people who have done this. And first and foremost, in a spiritual sense, I think that this is best for families and especially people who are busy. They don't have a lot of time and energy to keep going to doctor's appointments. Of course, always get everything tested regularly and all of the medical appointments that you need to do, yearly and whatnot. Of course, always follow a doctor's advice because, like I said, when things do go wrong, they really know what they're doing. You want to listen, you want to go get those checkups. So, that said, there are a lot of alternative ways that even doctors and nurses are really advocating for at this point. But most of the time in their offices, they can't because of, I guess it's kind of like liability. So, you just have to know that we are the best educators for our own bodies and our own health and our own families. So, let's see. I have Kellen in Tampa, Florida on the phone today for a reading. Are you there, Kellen?
Hey, Anna, how's it going?
Pretty good. How are you today?
I'm doing okay. Excited to
Yeah,
be on the phone with you.
I'm excited too. I'm happy to have you on today. So, what would you like to focus on, or is there a specific question that you'd like to ask Spirit today?
Um, well, I could be really specific or I could be kind of broad. So I guess I'll go broad. I guess I'm really interested in I'm trying to find meaningful connections in my life, find a deeper sense of meaning. And I've really been struggling with a lot of past relationships. And so I feel like, in a way it's like letting go. So I guess I'm curious about where the next meaningful relationships in my life are going to come from and what I need to do to attract those into my life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, and I mean this is really common, especially right now. We've had a pandemic. I think that a lot of people I talk to are kind of dealing with at least some sense of the same feeling of relationships and connections. I mean, sometimes people really are afraid to get COVID and they don't even tell people because they're afraid they'll seem like they're blowing out of proportion or something. There's a lot of that going on. But I know that you're specifying your own relationships in the past. So, what Spirit, first of all, told me was that you have a very deep, meaningful purpose in your life. So, I really feel like you are an advocate for those who have been either neglected or who need someone. Does that make sense to you?
Sure.
And I feel like you understand that on a deeper level, which is a huge asset to society. And I think what Spirit is showing me is because of this deeper purpose, I think that sometimes what's been going on in the past is that I think when we're healers and we're people who like to advocate for others, sometimes we ourselves can be a little sensitive. So have you ever felt like maybe you're a little sensitive in relationships?
Yeah, baby.
Yeah. And that's okay. I can relate to that. And it's just because you feel deeply and that means you have a lot of empathy for others as well. And so Spirit is just saying, it's good to when you get into a relationship with anybody, whether it be friend or significant other, it's really important to have some very, very good um, protections and walls put up against their human side. Does that make sense? Their shadow side, those things that just really make them unlikable sometimes.
Yeah.
And to really
Yeah, I
not
think
take,
that's been easier.
yeah, and really just try not to take those things personally. It's not like whenever we take on a new human being, it's like a whole package of really good things and really difficult things. And the really difficult things we all have. So you're going to have this big packet of like these really difficult things that they have to deal with. And then they're going to have all of these really big, serious things that you're going to have to deal with. And it's always important to remember that's their stuff, it's not about you. And they're like that with everyone. And to really stop and figure out what you can take on and what you're willing to deal with as their shadow side, as their downfalls. And I'm kind of getting like a past of like maybe some substance abuse. Like, were you ever in a situation with like somebody who was suffering with substance abuse?
A little bit, yeah. Just kind of
Yeah.
like not wanting, yeah.
Yeah, and so that needs to be like I feel like in your relationships that really needs to be non-negotiable for you. That brings up way too much sensitivity for you, and that if somebody's had a serious issue with that in the past, it's just like a no thank you from the get-go. That's what spirit's telling me for you.
Okay, that's
So
helpful.
yeah, and I really feel like it's good for you to just go do the things that you feel passionate about, and go do the things in any way, shape, or form that you can right now. Just start your work with seeing who it is that you can help. And I mean, not that you have to always help, just that it's more or less like I feel like you're in more of like the service industry. Does that make sense?
Okay, something like that.
Well, I feel like you would really, really blossom. I guess if the word is blossom, you'd really grow and really find yourself helping others and serving others. And that's where you would just effortlessly meet the person that you really would do well with, because it would be on this high vibrational frequency where you're feeling really good and really, happy, and your confidence is soaring. And that's the place where we want to attract somebody in that place. So um, it might be that it's been a little bit more difficult for everybody to go out and like serve people or volunteer or whatever, what have you, just to do good things for other people who are in need right now. And that's going to be what's going to fill your cup the most and put you in a situation where you're on this joyful, high confidence vibe where you just pretty much rein in that next person who's going to do so well with you. So is this
Yeah,
making
that's a
sense?
great idea. Thanks.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
good.
Makes a lot of sense.
Go ahead.
No, that's all.
Okay, yeah. And do you have any other questions about that? Did you want a time frame, or
Sure. Yeah. What's the time frame?
let's see. I'm seeing you really starting to get your vibe up in 3 months around. Now, this is always approximate and it's always subject to your decisions and choices. So 3 months would be the time where you're really starting to get your confidence up with this and feeling like you're more comfortable around more people who are in like the higher vibe that would be really conducive to a good relationship. And then it's around 5 to 6 months that I'm seeing that your person will be in your space and you will have the decision then to either accept or decline that person. So when I say this is always subject to your choices, that just means that, of course, we always choose what we will or will not do, but spirit is telling you it's going to come your way at that time. And if you feel ready, you can either accept or decline. For instance, I've had done readings on people, and I will give them a full description of their significant other that's coming, and I'll give them the time frame. And then after the time frame, they'll come to me and say, you told me 6 months and this guy never came. And then their friend will chime in, and their friend is like, what are you talking about? There's this guy with the exact description that asked you out and you said no, and she's like, oh, well, I didn't really think of that, and so it's really just up to whatever
Yeah,
you
it's
just.
so quick.
Yeah. So it's your choice, and it's really, you're going to have to remember, that this is the time frame. If you're ready and you're really feeling like you want to take on that next level, that's up to you if you want to choose it or not. So I do think that this person's going to be more aligned in love, because I just feel like in the past, like you've had some situations where you may have felt a little taken advantage of.
Okay.
So I feel like this would be more of a situation where you're not feeling like you have to worry about that. It just comes naturally, and this person just feels like, so like they've always been there. Like they're so natural that it's like, oh yeah, of course you're going to come over and we're going to go do stuff and it's going to be fun. And
Oh, that sounds awesome.
yeah, yeah.
So
Do you
what
have any other?
do you pick up anything about them? Like what stands out?
I just think that they're going to be more positive, more loving. I feel like this person is going to have. I'm kind of getting that they're going to be slender, tall, slender, um, more casual dress, more kickback. I feel like this person most likely would be a Taurus, an earth sign like Taurus.
Okay,
Birth
I'm
date.
a tourist.
Okay, I was getting that pretty strong. And birth date would be in May. Let's see, what else? I'm asking Spirit if I'm getting your description, and Spirit's like, no, this is the other person. And I'm like, okay. I'm getting twin flame, and I'm getting a Gemini feeling too. So that probably means that would be either their moon sign, something like that. So to look out for that. Um, so I also feel like this person will be more relaxed, fun loving, and generally less stressful, less dramatic, less stressful. They're going to have more of, I see a red car that they'd be driving, if that helps. They have a red car. Um, and they're definitely going to love like club music. Looks like club music to me, but also they're kind of a walking contradiction because they'll also love country music, which is kind of funny. Country music and club music, and they're really into creating. Like maybe they love to do art, or they just love to plan events or things like that. So I'm getting that too. I'm super excited for you though, because I feel like there's been a lull, and I think that really is the pandemic. So I feel like Spirit is really confirming that that's been the pandemic. Um, have you noticed that you've been more isolated since the pandemic, or do you feel like it's just other people?
I guess it's hard to say. But yeah, since for the past like 2 or 3 years, I would say it's been very. I think everyone's been really isolated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Spirit's just confirming this too shall pass. That's just one of those things where we've all been pretty isolated, and, especially, um, like anybody who's used to being out at events regularly or in public places a lot, or if they work with the public quite a bit, it's going to really feel kind of weird right now. And just know that it's going back to normal. It will go totally back to normal. I think it's like people say, well, this is the new normal. We're always going to have a pandemic, and no, that I've seen a few times that that's not the case. That the same predictions that predicted this pandemic that came also said it was going to resolve, but that it would have, like, I think a period of 10 years before it would come back. So it wouldn't be full fledged. It'll kind of like go away quickly again. But just remember that, even if you're not sure that that prediction is correct, you can always practice really safe practices, wearing your mask and all that with this person. You're going to have the person come into your life. So that's basically like the message that I'm getting for you. I feel like your happiness will come directly from serving others, that will be, you will be able to find your niche within helping other people, and that is really what is going to fill your soul so that you're ready for a healthy relationship. Okay.
Yeah, that
Well,
makes sense.
yeah. Thanks so much for calling in. I think I'm going to take my second caller. I've just got about 7 minutes left, but I think that I will take the next person. But I thank you so much for calling in. Okay. So now I have Connie in San Diego. Connie, are you there?
Hi, Anna. How are you?
Good, Connie. How are you?
I'm doing okay. I'm trying to be better. That's why I'm bothering you guys today.
You could never
By
bother
the way,
me.
the reading you did to this person, it was beautiful.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you. So,
It was really beautiful and uplifting.
oh,
Very beautiful. Thank you. Thank you
wonderful.
so much. That really helped too, believe it or not.
Okay, well, great. How can I help you today? What would you like to focus on with Spirit?
My finances, please. I feel I'm stuck. And I know it's a common denominator probably for a lot of, partners or in general.
Mhm.
I need to know if I'm going to be able to keep my apartment, if there's money coming somewhere, somehow,
Okay.
and whatever else Spirit, tells me. It will be
Yeah.
greatly appreciated.
Of course. Let me look at that for you. I'm going to focus on your finances, and I'm going to really focus in on what's going on. So, um, Spirit is telling me that the real estate market is a little crazy right now. It's going to definitely resolve, that you are going to come out ahead. I'm seeing that there's the star. I'm getting the star for you, which is basically meaning you will balance this out. Spirit is reminding you that you have always found a way to do well financially. Does that make sense?
Yes.
You've always been able to do this, and Spirit is saying you will do it again. You will find your way.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm looking at about 3 months. You're going to come across an opportunity where you are going to increase your income significantly. That will help you to resolve the financial issues that you're having. But Spirit is also reminding you to stay frugal and be very careful with your money, as you have been. That you may start to think, okay, well, now I'm getting more money, so I think that it's okay for me to spend like I was. But Spirit is saying to still be careful for another 6 months. So 9 months out, you want to be nice and careful with your finances and try to save any extra if you can.
Perfect.
And in the 9 months,
Perfect.
I also feel like the 9 months after that, there's going to be a man in your life who's going to offer you a job opportunity or an income opportunity.
Okay.
And that will help you to be able to really have a great income. And Spirit is showing me that you're not going to see it coming. You're going to be like, oh, well, where's this guy that Anna was telling me about? And it's going to start to feel like, well, he's never going to come and offer me, I'm never going to find this person that, just to keep looking and to, it'll kind of be a surprise. Like all of a sudden it'll just come out of nowhere. You'll be able to see that this was coming the whole time. Spirit, I really feel like you have done a lot of good, hard work in your life and that you're being rewarded for your work. Spirit is saying, don't feel discouraged that you've worked so hard and that you're having this difficult time. Spirit is saying, because of your work ethic and you always being a survivor, you are going to come out of this not only fully, but you'll be able to thrive.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. And Spirit's also reminding you that when, we have these situations where, like, let's say you invest in the stock market and your finances start to go down, remember that it has to go up at some point. And Spirit is also reminding us right now that sometimes that's the time to invest, even if it's a little bit, to invest at that time because it goes back up.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah. Do you have any questions?
Anna, my health, and also, well, I'm going to apply for state disability. And I was wondering if I'm going to be able to get retroactive because they deny it 2 times before this time I'm going to apply again.
Yeah. Let's see. Let me look at that. Yeah, they're being stingy. And the thing is that you have to be a squeaky wheel. So you have to keep bothering them. Spirit's saying, keep applying and keep going and just keep bothering them. Do not take no for an answer.
Okay.
And even if you have to get in with another doctor, you have to do whatever you need to do, ask for them to reevaluate and tell them that you have that right and that that you need this coverage and that or the disability and that you want to get reevaluated. And I'm feeling like you will get an amount from that.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Anna.
You're welcome.
Are you open for a last question?
What's that?
Anna?
What did you say?
Are you open for the last question? Are you open for the last question?
Yeah, just one real quick. Okay. I have about a minute left.
Yes, I understand. Okay. My oldest daughter and myself, I've been trying my best, and God knows I'm telling the truth, to have a better relationship with her. Sometimes I feel like she's, it's going to come through, but then suddenly, for some reason, she's mean. She's really mean, and my grandson really suffers for that. And he understands that it's not me. He really does. But it's not fair for an 11-year-old to feel that he has to justify his mother. It's not fair.
Yeah, that's kind of more of a complex question, and I only have like 10 seconds left. So you can always follow up with me if you go to my website at AnnaOlsenIntuitive.com. I can finish your reading later. You can also reach me on Facebook at Anna Olsen Intuitive. And I'm sorry, I wish I had more time, but that's kind of a more complex question that would take longer. But I thank you so much for calling in, Connie, and you have a wonderful week. Go ahead and get a hold of me and I'll finish that up. So this is my time for today. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will be here again next Tuesday at 1:30 Pacific Standard Time. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I will talk to you later about AnnaOlsenIntuitive.com.